What's up, everybody? What's happening? It's your boy Coach Tuck in the building, man. Excited to see y'all again. It's been a while. I know it's been a minute. My apologies. I'm here to bring value, here to bring the content. So let's talk about a couple of relevant topics. Of course, everything we talk about is relevant to our life, right? But we're gonna talk about a couple things. We're just against the grain, so do things a little different. Um, talk about things from a different angles, and we cover things that a lot of people cover, maybe, but from a different way. So let's chop it up. Let's chop it up, and let's get some things rolling. All right. First off, welcome, like, subscribe, show love. Cost nothing. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the love. And let's get into what we're gonna be talking about today. All right. So first things first. Do have a story I want to update. Give an update on um, Houston related story. Um, Definitely want to get an update on that. Trump has an interview um, that I think sheds a lot of light on his direction and what he's trying to do and his agenda. And then we're going to talk about Jay-Z and Diddy, and then cheating in relationships, and in particular, uh, a particular topic uh, in regards to cheating. So we'll get to that. So that's the rundown today. That's about it. So let's see what we got. What we got in here? Boys, Crystal. What's up, Crystal? What's happening in? What's happening in? What else we got in here? We got Jessica in here. What's up, Jessica? Welcome. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate y'all checking your boy out. Got love for y'all. All right, so next thing, let's get to it. First things first. Let's give an update on the news story from Houston about the stabbing. Told you guys I was going to need an update. I'm a little late on it, but it's all good. Let's get to it.
Now charged with killing his sister and his 2-year-old niece. Police say he stabbed the mother and daughter to death in their West Houston apartment the day after Thanksgiving. ABC 13's Luke Jones is at the Harris County Jail where that man's being held.
The judge has denied to set bail. The charge here, capital murder. The motive, still unclear. What is clear, however, he has an extensive criminal history and only got out of prison last year. At the doorstep of an unspeakable crime, balloons, teddy bears, and heartfelt messages left for 28-year-old Janine Fisher and her 2-year-old daughter's family. Janine's brother, 29-year-old Kendrick Fisher, now charged with stabbing her and her daughter to death Friday morning.
I don't understand hurting your own sister, hurting a woman, hurting another person, period. But what possessed you to hurt this baby?
Records show Kendrick Fisher had gotten out of prison last December after serving a 7-year sentence for armed robbery with extra time tagged on for contraband. For the last few months, family says Janine Fisher had been letting him stay with her at the Knox at West Chase apartments.
A lot of the residents around here would get an eerie feeling from him.
And that includes members of his own family.
He had already beat the hell out of me.
Fisher's mother telling reporters Friday how her son had once attacked her, but friends say there were no signs of ill will between brother and sister.
We could see no red flags. This was just completely out of the blue.
Friday, Fisher's mother says her son was acting completely out of character.
His so-called friends laced him on some fake weed and it him up. So he come home on a rampage.
Around 3:30 that morning, police say they were flagged down and told Janine Fisher and her daughter were being held hostage in their apartment. When officers made it inside, they say they found both dead with multiple stab wounds and a blood-covered brother sleeping on a sofa.
The apartment managers were crying about that. Residents were crying about that.
Emmanuel Thomas's 3-year-old daughter, a frequent playmate of the murdered 2-year-old, a child whose death is just as perplexing as it is horrifying.
She was defenseless. She can't do anything. She posed no threat to you. That's what I and a lot of other people are wondering.
Wondering and asking questions. Police say only one man can answer. Luke Jones, ABC 13.
Ah, man, that's so messed up. That's so messed up. Prayers to the family, man. And so his mom said he was his friends gave him some fake weed or some lace weed or something, and that had him out of his mind, and then he proceeded to then harm his sister, I think, and the baby. The main thing for me is I just feel so bad for the family. Um, yeah, yeah, feel so bad for the family, and broke my heart too, Crystal. I think, man, we gotta start. Danger is like right there. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't anyone in their in outside their family, or it was right in their home, and we have to be careful about the people we let in our homes. I think it's really important to we want to look out for people because they're family, but obviously this man hasn't made good choices in his life because he had recently just got out of prison, spending several years, uh, right? So he's spending several years, um, and then he gets out, and then your sister lets you live with her and her daughter, and it's tragic, man. Like that's just I have no words for that. Prayers to the family. Um, it's sad. I did kind of go through something similar growing up, like not me personally, but my neighbors. And so um, we were kind of there for them and their family in their time of need. So it was kind of a hostage situation next to my grandmother's house growing up. So I kind of feel for that, and I hope everything's okay. As far as just with the family and the mom, I know that's crazy just to lose both kids. Basically, your whole legacy, your both kids and your grandchild, um, in one act. So that's sad, man. Gonna move on. I was gonna go Trump first, but let's switch it. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the Jay-Z thing, and we're gonna talk about that for a second. All right, here we go. Let me switch up a couple of things. Hey, comment. Let me know what you think about that, man. Story is just really sad, and it's just a testament to kind of where we are in these times. All right, so let's get to it. Let's get to the Diddy and Jay-Z lawsuit. Let's talk about
Case against Sean Diddy Combs. The latest involves hip-hop mogul Jay-Z, who issued a vehement denial. This morning, a blistering response from Jay-Z after he was accused of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl more than 2 decades ago. The billionaire hip-hop mogul was added to an existing civil lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs, citing an alleged incident after the 2000 VMAs, where the victim claims she was drugged and assaulted by both Diddy and Jay-Z while a third celebrity watched.
The judge has actually agreed that the victim can remain anonymous and that the case can proceed. So there seems to be a little bit more to this case.
Jay-Z vehemently denying the claim, writing, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away." Also saying, "My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence." Jay-Z also attacked the attorney behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, who fired back saying, "I won't be bullied or intimidated." Busby is behind at least 20 of the sexual assault lawsuits against Combs, who calls Busby's lawsuits shameless publicity stunts. Combs' statement went on to say he has never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone. Combs will stay in jail until his trial in May, but he has
I'm gonna let it finish. I'm gonna let it finish, and then I'll talk.
Appealed the most recent decision to deny him bail. That ruling should come later this week. There are more.
All right, so let's talk about it. There's a couple things about this case that I find pretty weird, or just different. First things first is they tried to shake him down first, right? So they tried to shake him down first. They tried to basically say, "Hey, before we file, we're going to give you this opportunity to settle out of court." So, in my in my estimation, that's kind of tipping your hand, because if you really like Jay-Z said in his statement, he was like, "Hey, if these are heinous crimes. These are crimes that you know nobody should be out, or like someone should be locked up, right? Like someone should be locked up behind this sexual assault on a 13-year-old girl. So someone should be locked up behind this." And another another thing that I think was interesting was interesting is the fact that they filed the lawsuit initially just against Sean Combs, but they then refiled. Tony Busby refiled. He's Houston based, by the way. And this is the same dude that did all the lawsuits against Deshaun Watson's, all his accusers. So just FYI. And so he basically filed. So he refiled the lawsuit to add Jay-Z onto the lawsuit. So the initial lawsuits were against Diddy, and he refiled to add them to add Jay-Z along. I found that kind of fishy. I found that you going for a money grab before you even talk to a judge or anything, or brought any charges filed. I think that was fishy. And the fact that Jay-Z came right out and denied it. Not sure how much evidence is really, you know, needed. So the burden of proof is more so heavier in criminal cases than civil. And so we'll see how this plays out, and see how it plays out. But in my opinion, man, I think this is a money grab. Just because of refiling to include Jay-Z, uh, them trying to go do basically a money grab beforehand, like basically like, hey, settle out of court or we're gonna go public and file a lawsuit or whatever. And yeah, those two things are kind of fishy to me. So let me know what you guys think. Um, Also, comment throughout the show. I'll definitely show you guys comments throughout the show as we transition just from segment to segment. So appreciate you guys checking in. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. We're gonna keep it rolling. We're gonna keep it rolling. Yep, no new comments here. It says, what was the story? I missed it. Okay, so if you go back earlier, if you go back to episode 1, it was a story where the mom and the toddler were killed in the apartment down in West Chase in West Houston. And so I just gave an update on it. It's been all over the news. Basically, her brother is the one that did the murdering, and we're not sure kind of what the motive is at this point. So it's real sad and unfortunate. But yeah, that was a story. All right, so let's move on over to Trump. And I'm not gonna play too much, probably like the first 5 or 10 minutes, but I want to get the main thing I want you guys to notice is how he approaches problems, even problems he's unsure of how to solve, but he approaches them in a way where you would like a leader to approach them, because it's not one track mind minded. It's not like single track focus on certain particular things. It's more so a comprehensive thing, and he's looking to actually get the best solution. So that's the kind of thing I want you to listen for. And then he's going to give a couple of particulars in as far as to how he's going to move. Um, I'll skip through the parts that I think he's giving fluff. So let's start out. He is 47.
Meet the press.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here. You are the first president since Grover Cleveland to win non-consecutive terms. Republicans now have control of the House and the Senate.
Right.
What do you plan to accomplish in your first 100 days in office?
Well, we're going to do something with the border, and very strong, very powerful. That'll be our first signal, and a first signal to America that we're not playing games. We have people coming in by the millions, as you know, and a lot of people shouldn't be here. Most of them shouldn't be here, but we have jails being emptied into our country. We have mental institutions from all over the world being emptied into our country. So we'll be doing that. We're going to be extending within that period, or as soon as we can, the Trump tax cuts, because, you know, they're coming due and they're very substantial for people. And it would be very, I think it will anger a lot of people, frankly, if we don't get an extension of that. That's what led us to one of the greatest economies ever. And those two things are going to be very vital, very important. We're going to be focusing on crime in the cities, and we'll work with Democrat governors. Most of them are, as you know, if you look at the 25 worst places, they're just about all Democrat-controlled cities and states. And we're going to be working with Democrat governors and Democrat mayors. And I look forward to doing it, but we have to do something about crime, and mostly in our cities. And we're going to have a lot of other things. We'll be working on nominations. We're going to still be working on some nominations. I think they're going very well. We have, for the most part, I think they're going extremely well. It looks like Pete is doing well now. I mean, people
Pete
were
Buttigieg.
a little bit concerned. He's a young guy with a tremendous track record, actually. He went to Princeton and went to Harvard. He was a good student at both, but he loves the military, and I think people are starting to see it. So we'll be working on his nomination along with a lot of others.
We are going to delve into your nominations, but since you bring him up, do you still have confidence in Pete Hegseth?
Yes, I do. I really do. He's a very smart guy. I've known him through Fox, but I've known him for a long time. And he's basically a military guy. I mean, every time I talk to him, all he wants to talk about is the military. He's a military guy. I used to kid him about it. I didn't think we'd be in this position where he may be, hopefully will be Secretary of Defense. But every time I was with him, he was fighting for soldiers, where he said some soldier was unjustly put in prison because they were really doing what they were taught to do, in some cases. So, yeah, I think he's going to do fine.
The fact that there are these allegations against him, misconduct, sexual misconduct, heavy drinking, the fact that he said to some senators reportedly he'll stop drinking if he gets this job, does that worry you?
No, I think that everybody has something that they can stop. Some people can stop eating. I'm lucky I'm not a drinker, but I could stop eating. And we all want to stop doing something. And if he said that, I mean, that's a nice thing to say. That's a good thing to say.
That's true, though. That's true. We all can stop doing, you know. So if the man is qualified, you know, I don't see an issue with it. To be honest, I don't see an issue with it. You know, if the man is qualified, I don't see a problem. Trump is funny though. Say some people should stop eating. That shit is funny to me. But I'll let him continue.
But he's very respected. I can tell you, I know a lot of the people at Fox, they think he's fantastic. And the people that work with him, really, they love him. So I think you're going to have somebody that's really terrific. And again, all he talked about with me, I said, you know, you're not really a television guy, even though he did very well, as you know. You're really a military guy. He said, I'm all about the military. And I told him, so he's making a lot of money at Fox. They're doing very well. And I said, you know, if for some reason you don't get this thing, you're not going to be able to go back. And all that money you're making, you can kiss it goodbye, he said, "This is all about America." You know, he didn't say, "Well, let me think about it, let me discuss it." That's a very big, risky thing he's doing when he goes and he says, "I'm going to give up, millions of dollars in order to possibly become the Secretary of Defense." A lot of people would say it's a great position. It's probably almost no greater position, but a lot of people would say, "I have to think about it." He said, "I don't have to think about it."
All right, we're going to delve.
That's a good point. I think that it's important to understand, man, that you got people out here doing these things out of public service, like really public service, right? Like they doing it for the love of the country. Um, you got a guy giving up millions of dollars. Trump, you guys understand that in Trump's first term, he never took a salary, right? And he's the only politician, let alone president, but the only politician whose net worth went down from his time prior to office and post. So for all these people talking about, oh, he's just doing it for himself, or he's selfish, he's doing, no, dude is doing this really for America. And what I see is I look at people's actions rather than what they say. And so your actions are going to tell me exactly what I need to know about you, not necessarily what you say. So that's why I appreciate uh, just peep game with what he's saying right now. All right, I'll continue probably about another 4 or 5 minutes.
Into your cabinet picks a little bit later, but I want to delve into one of your signature promises on the campaign trail, which was to end inflation, to lower prices. You are now proposing tariffs against the United States' three biggest trading partners. Economists of all stripes say that ultimately consumers pay the price of tariffs.
I don't believe
Can
it.
you guarantee American families won't pay more?
I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee tomorrow. But I can say that if you look at just pre-COVID, we had the greatest economy in the history of our country. And I had a lot of tariffs on a lot of different countries, but in particular China. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars, and we had no inflation. In fact, when I handed it over, they didn't have inflation for a year and a half. They went almost 2 years just based on what I had created. And then they created inflation with energy and with spending too much. So I think I'm a big believer in tariffs. I think tariffs are the most beautiful word. I think they're beautiful. It's going to make us rich.
Listen to what he says about tariffs, and listen to how she tries to get to plant some information. Listen to how she rebuts his response, and check this out.
We're subsidizing Canada to the tune of over $100 billion a year. We're subsidizing Mexico for almost $300 billion. We shouldn't be subsidizing. Why are we subsidizing these countries? If we're going to subsidize them, let them become a state. We're subsidizing Mexico, and we're subsidizing Canada, and we're subsidizing many countries all over the world. And
so if y'all don't understand what subsidizing means, meaning basically we're the reason they're financially stable, right? We're the reason that they're able to pay their bills, and they're sustainable based on the goods and services they sell to America that they don't make in America. All right, we're gonna keep this going.
all I want to do is I want to have a level, fast, but fair playing field.
Sir, your previous tariffs during your first administration cost Americans some $80 billion. And now you have major companies from Walmart, Black & Decker, AutoZone saying that any tariffs are going to force them to drive up prices for their consumers. How do you make sure that these CEOs, that these companies don't, in fact, pass on the cost of tariffs to their consumers?
They cost Americans nothing. They made a great economy for us. They also solve another problem. If we were going to have problems having to do with wars and having to do with other things, tariffs, I have stopped wars with tariffs by saying, you guys want to fight, it's great, but both of you are going to pay tariffs to the United States at 100%. And they have many purposes, tariffs, if properly used. I don't say you use them like a madman. I say properly used. But it didn't cost this country anything. It made this country money. And we never really got the chance to go all out because we had to fight COVID in the last part. And we did it very successfully. And when I handed it over to Biden, the stock market was higher than what it was just previous to COVID coming in. It was actually higher. Tariffs are properly used, are a very powerful tool, not only economically, but also for getting other things outside of economics.
Well, again, prices did go up on some goods in your first administration, washing machines, tires. Will you punish CEOs?
Watch him break
Let me
this
just
down.
explain to you. No.
Watch
You
him break
mentioned
this
washing machines. So you look at Whirlpool in Ohio. I got a call from Jim Jordan, one of the greats, congressman from Ohio. And he said, they're going out of business because South Korea and China are dumping washing machines into our country. And I put a 50% tariff on the washing machines coming in from China and South Korea. And Whirlpool and the companies that made washing machines, which are based in Ohio, largely based in Ohio, went through the roof. We saved thousands of jobs, tens of thousands of jobs. They were all going out of business because they were dumping washing machines. And when I put the tariffs on, they became successful businesses. No, it didn't. Not only didn't it cost people, it made our country stronger and more powerful, and it kept jobs.
But how do you make sure that consumers don't wind up paying more? Will you punish CEOs who try to pass the cost of tariffs on to their customers?
Well, the market's going to take care of it. I mean, actually, the market takes care of it. And if it doesn't, we adjust it somewhat. But in the case of Whirlpool, or let's say companies that made washing machines, they were all being put out of business by the dumping from, in particular, South Korea and China. And when I put the tariffs on, very substantial tariffs, although peanuts compared to what people do to us, what countries do to us, it became a very, very powerful, successful company. Now, let's say I didn't do the tariffs. It would have gone out of business. You would have lost tens of thousands of jobs, and you don't include that in your equation. No, they make a lot of money. I'll go a step further. Tariffs are going to make our country rich. Tariffs are going to help us pay off $35 trillion in debt. Tariffs are going to make our country safe because China, as an example, doesn't want to play games with us if we're going to do tariffs on them. They don't want to play games. And we have a lot of games being played on us right now.
Well, I think, and that takes me to my next question.
Yeah.
Are you actually going to impose these tariffs, or are they a negotiating tactic?
Well, I'll give you an example. With Canada, and in particular Mexico, we have millions of people pouring into our country. You agree with that. I spoke with both. I spoke with Justin Trudeau. In fact, he flew to Mar-a-Lago within about 15 seconds after the call ended. Yeah. He was at Mar-a-Lago. We were having dinner talking about it. I said, you have to close up your borders because they're coming in the northern border, too, a lot. Not like the southern border, but they're coming in the Canadian border a lot. And drugs are pouring in. Almost as importantly, drugs are pouring in, maybe more importantly, drugs are pouring in at levels never seen before, 10 times what we had. They're just pouring in. We can't have open borders. And I said to the president of Mexico and to Justin Trudeau, if it doesn't stop, I'm going to put tariffs on your country at about 25%. That's a very substantial tariff. And in the case of, in both cases, but in the case where it was really visible, within 10 minutes after that phone call, we noticed that the people coming across the border, the southern border, having to do with Mexico, they were at a trickle, just a trickle. It was, in fact, I call the border. See, unlike my opponent, I do call the border a lot. And I said, how's the border looking today? They said, there's nobody here. They couldn't believe it. The military stopped these vast groups of people. You know, we call them caravans, but they had caravans of people, and they largely stopped them. Now, they're going to have to continue that, but if they don't continue, and the other thing I told them is no more drugs, and I told that to China, too. I had to deal with President Xi. Had the election been different, I'm going to be very nice because we don't have to get into an argument over 2020, but had the election been different, the result been different, we would have had China giving the maximum penalty, which is the penalty of death, to people that sent fentanyl into this country. But Biden didn't, unfortunately, finish that discussion up. I had an agreement with President Xi, who I got along with very well. We've had communication as recently as this week. And I had communication with him where they were going to give the death penalty to anybody sending drugs into the United States.
This week you had that.
This man had a deal set in place, and Biden and basically Biden them undid everything this man did, right? But I think what's important to highlight is now that we know the Biden family's crooked, right? And we know Hunter Biden, what he was doing. We know about the laptop. That was a real story. You can consider that election interference. I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole. We're not even gonna talk. Let's talk about this particular presidency and how he's approaching to attack everything that he said he was going to do during his campaign. And he's going about it in a methodical way. He's putting in his people, and everybody's in an uproar over him putting in his people. But in order to get the things done that he couldn't do the first time, he understands that, hey, I got to get rid of all these career politicians. I got to get rid of all these bureaucrats. We got to trim the fat on the government and cut out all this wasteful spending and direct the spending towards the things that actually benefit America. Hey, we got to keep letting the rest of the world pimp us as far as taking all our money and profits, but not really building and contributing anything to our economy other than selling us goods. So that's what the tariffs are going to impose. And it's good to have a leader with some backbone that puts America first and that understands that you have to run America at a certain point, at a certain level, right? In the grand scheme of things, it has to be run efficiently, and it has to be run um, with strong leadership. So I appreciate Trump for that. So shout out to Trump. And we're gonna keep that moving, man. We're gonna keep it moving. Keep it moving. No other new chat so far. So Random number 3 said, "Hey, I like your message. I appreciate that. Thank you so much." Um, yeah, no other new chat. So it says, oh, okay. Miller just give me a comment here. Say he is right for doing so. Other countries do the same, right? That's the other thing. Like, it was crazy is he made one like dude's not even president yet, right? He's not even president yet, and all of a sudden the borders are on lock. So it had to be a policy or an agenda from the Biden campaign to allow the open borders. Like there had to be an agenda, right? Like we can like you don't have to say conspiracy like if it's right in your face. Like you can literally see it was an agenda. Like it was an agenda. Because if he can not even be the president, and mind you, he's not even the president, but he's making people do their job. He's making these governments do their job. Mexico and Canada, hey, shut up your borders, shut down the borders, and it's on their end. So yeah, I'm definitely with that. It was definitely an agenda to push. Last thing before we get out of here, I wanted to chop it up with y'all about um talk about some relationship stuff. Let me remove this banner here, and we're gonna talk about. I gotta ask the question. I gotta ask the question, and I wanted to present it to you guys. Just as a discussion topic, just to see what you guys think. Everyone thinks different. Every situation is different. So definitely want to bring it to you guys as a forefront. That's a random. I agree too. I appreciate that random number 3. I don't know what that means, but I appreciate. Okay, so but let's continue to talk about relationships. So um, one of my homegirls asked me. She was like, "Hey, Tuck, if a man um, is, and let me make sure I get this right. Let me make sure I get this right. Hang on 1 second, you guys. All right, so here we go. So if a woman continuously denies her man pleasure over and over again, does she have to right? Does she have the right to get mad when he goes and gets it from somewhere else? If a woman continuously denies her man pleasure, right? So we know what that means. Does she have the right to get mad when he goes and gets it from somewhere else? And first question is, well, why are you denying your man, physical pleasure? Like, why are you denying your man this, right? That would be my first question. Why would you deny a person that you're in a relationship with, or long-term relationship, or married? Why would you deny that, right? Are you trying to be manipulative, or are you trying to use sex as a game, or are you trying to use this as sex as a weapon to get something out of a relationship, right? So that would be my first question. The second question would be, um, or my second point would be, well, why would that, like, why wouldn't you get mad, right? I think if you're a significant other, if you guys have an agreement on how you're going to operate and move, and she's not a part of that, or having the extra person not a part of that, you guys agree to be monogamous, then of course she has the right to be upset, but she also has the right to understand her part in it, right? So she bears no responsibility in the decision making of that man going out and cheating, in my opinion. But she does bears responsibility in the situation, um, because if you're trying to use sex as a weapon, or if you're not into sex and he is, then that's something you guys need to discuss within y'all relationship. Like, that's something that needs to to come to a resolution, because sex is a big part of any relationship, especially in the earlier years. Um, and even as you get older, a lot of people hold sex as a big part, especially for men, because we're visually, attractive. Like, that's the first thing that draws us to you, is something physically appealing about the woman that we want. And then after that, it's more of, okay, how you treat me, how do you handle business, how do we run a house, things that, the practical things on a day-to-day life, and kind of the hierarchy of a relationship, right? The minutia of a relationship. So, um, in my opinion, let me know what you guys think. Does she have a right to get married, mad, or does the man have a right to even step out, uh, given the situation? If you're if your woman, the woman isn't giving him that physical pleasure, does he have that right, or does he have a say so in it? I don't. I think that, um, anything within a relationship, me personally, we can discuss. If I can't talk to you, about, especially our sex life, then, we have a problem. We have a deeper issue than our sex life, right? So, we should be able to chop it up and go from there. So let me know what you guys think. If you want, I can drop the link. Um, if you guys want to join, we can chop it up. You can always join. Uh, so let me drop that here, and we can talk about it. Anybody that wants to join. If not, it's cool. And you don't have to get on camera, by the way. You don't have to be on camera. It can be straight audio. We're just trying to have a discussion. So, but yeah, I don't think that's a good a good thing. I don't think it's appropriate. I think she has a right to get mad, but he also has a valid reason in doing what doing what he was going to do. So, or cheating, whatever he's doing, right? So, I think that's a valid reason, but also that doesn't make the decision right, right? So, again, if you're in a situation where you're monogamous and you have a monogamous relationship, and these are the terms. You don't have any agreements to do anything outside a relationship. Then those aren't the terms of your agreement, and so those aren't the terms that you should operate under. So, but also, that is a lot of stress on the man, and maybe he doesn't know how to express himself to his woman, and that's another thing. Like I said, if a man can't talk to a woman about their sex life, um, especially that, then that's a problem. That there's deep rooted problems that go way beyond physical. So let me know what you think in the comments. Um, Hit me up. Uh, Email me anything you want me to talk about. Email is coachtuck404@gmail.com. Coachtuck404@gmail.com. I'll let your boy. Um, and again, like, subscribe if you like value. I like getting on here talking shit. No funny video today, and that's the thing, but I'm sorry about that. I will make sure I have a funny video for you guys next show. I had one queued up, but it was a little too long. And I didn't want to hold you guys too much today. Um, Next show though, I have a jam-packed show full of news. There's a lot to discuss. Uh, we'll be live. Tune into I'm Just Saying Live tomorrow. Have a great show planned for you guys there. I think we have a special guest, and then I'll be live again tomorrow night as well. So we have a back-to-back show. So stay tuned. Um, link, let's see what we got here. So we have a comment here. Camilla says, "Men cheat just because it's Tuesday." That's not true. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Men more so react how we feel. Like women think with their feelings. Um, like how women feel determine what she does, right? But a lot of times with men, we react to our feelings. So when we're approaching it in a different way, it's like, man, I'm tired of feeling like this, so I'm gonna do this. So it's not necessarily thinking with our feelings. It's more so how would I not feel like this anymore, or how do I get rid of this feeling that I'm having, right? So it's more a solution based approach. And she's how men operate. Um, Says she doesn't like them. Uh, Not necessarily. Um, Not necessarily. That couldn't be a thing. Maybe she might not like him. True. Maybe there's an emotional disconnect somewhere. Um, See, Jessica says she should probably end things if she ain't about it. But and that's the thing. Like, yeah, she should probably end it. But what if she's like? That's the thing. That's what. Depending on the situation, that makes me think, there's something else. Like, why are you using sex as a weapon, or why are you using sex to kind of gain leverage in a relationship? Is that all you can offer, or is that something more? So, yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. So, I appreciate you guys for checking with me. No more comments. We good? We good? All good. Told you it'll be short and sweet today. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, like, subscribe, share with people who are like-minded, who's on our same page and on our wavelength. We're trying to grow this thing out, and we're gonna keep it going and keep it consistent. So I appreciate y'all for rocking with me and kicking it with me tonight. We got another comment. Let's see what we got. Say women are emotional, so if he's not properly providing and properly protecting her, she will not want to be with him. But if that's the case, then that's not the man she would want to be with. Hence what Jessica said, she should probably end things, right? So there's her responsibility in choosing to be in that situation as well. Like we have, as an adults, we have a choice to be in those situations. So if something's not serving you, you have a hard decision to make. But yeah, it's hard, but at the same time, it's still, your decision, your life. So, you know, she's feeling that way. She need to talk that out, make that known, and then go from there. And it depends on, if it's a long-term relationship or if it's a marriage or something like that. Like, that's a whole different thing. Those are two different rules, to apply. Um, but appreciate the comments. Thank you guys. Thank you. Like I said, check us out. Rock with me. Uh, Love y'all, man, and love y'all with the love of the Creator. Stay up, stay blessed. Peace.